I'm excited to share some really simple recipes. We're going to be cooking with some vegetables, some vegan ingredients. So, and here we're going to do this couple style.
Hello, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, cheers. Again, I'm Geeta with Warrior in the Kitchen, and I'm excited to share some really simple recipes with you with ingredients that I have on hand. They're vegan, they're vegetarian, and they're really simple recipes that you can put together. I am notorious for going to the grocery store pretty much every other day, even though I tell myself I'll be organized at the beginning of the week. For some reason, it just doesn't happen. And every other day, it's so good to see you also, Bhavna, or hear from you anyway. But anyway, so I'm just notorious for that. And so this whole social distancing and keeping myself away from the grocery stores, keeping myself just inside the house, has really made me become a little creative with what I have on hand. Just a quick little story. If you're just joining us, please feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. Tell me where you're from. Tell me something fun that you've been doing while we're all social distancing. Maybe tell me what you have brought to drink. I've got my cab here that I'll be sipping on throughout this session. The session shouldn't take more than 30 to 40 minutes or so it'll be nice and quick. So a really quick story. My father-in-law lives about less than a mile away at one direction, and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law live literally 2 streets over. Like, if I wanted to throw a big cauliflower over that way, they would catch it and probably cook with it. And so we're so used to just, hey, do you have some cauliflower? Do you have some potatoes? We're so used to just being able to run over to each other's houses for ingredients that we might be missing. I have a grocery store that's less than a mile away also that I constantly go to. And again, I am notorious for going to the grocery store every other day. Even our friends at the gym, hey, you're going to Costco, can you pick this up for me? Hey, you're going to the Indian grocery store, can you pick this up for me? So this whole, I literally have not been to the grocery stores since last like a week and a half. So not the past Sunday, but the Sunday before. So I'm really working with what I have on hand. If you're just joining us, please feel free to comment, like, share this Facebook Live feed on your own feed, and that way more people can join us. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Warrior in the Kitchen newsletter. It's at warriorinthekitchen.com. I'll be sending you guys the recipes of whatever we cover today. And also, so just a quick thing that I wanted to share, and I will email this to you guys as well, is I actually created a grocery list by section. So basically, I've got my produce, I've got my baked goods, the Mexican and Asian aisle, the Italian aisle, the dairy, cereal aisle, frozen. I've got my Costco list. So I'm hoping that with this, I'll just be able to highlight what I need for, say, 1.5 to 2 weeks, and minimize my trips to the grocery store. So doing that. So as far as what we're cooking today, we are going to make roasted asparagus. So I bought a couple of bunches of asparagus. I've had it refrigerated. It stayed really well. I used 1 bunch last week, and now I have 1 bunch that I'm gonna go ahead and use up today. So I'll show you what I'll do with that. The other thing that we'll be making is hummus. And this is a cool hummus recipe because I'll be sharing the base hummus recipe, and then to that, you can add whatever you have. So for example, I've got some extra cilantro and jalapenos that I want to use up. So I'll be making cilantro, jalapeno hummus, and I'll explain to you how we can do that. If you're just joining, please feel free to introduce yourself. And cheers to everybody that's joining. You guys yes, you have to pour a drink. Cheers, Jeanette. Hi, Sapna. Hi, Sejal, Bobby, Sob, Namasi, Tanvi, Tejo. Hi, you guys. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Poonam. Cheers. Let's all cheers. A collective cheers.
Cheers, cheers. Wait for me.
Cheers.
for me.
Wait. Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers to
everyone.
socially distancing but virtually connected. How about
How do you
that?
tell who's on?
So this right here tells us who's on.
Oh,
Yep.
hi, everyone.
Hi, Shiv. Yep, pour yourself a shot of tequila. All right, so we're making roasted asparagus. We're making hummus. And the last thing that we're making is a dessert. It's just a quick dessert. That's a baked apple crisp. I'll show you how easy it is. You can make it in the microwave in 3 minutes once you put everything together. So let's get this party started. Hi, Tejumasi. Hi, Tanvi. All right, so the first thing that we're making is roasted asparagus. I'm gonna go ahead and move that down. Well, we need a roast pan. So the thing about asparagus is, and I've already washed these and prepped most of them, but basically this last part right here, the end will be tough. So you want to just break that off. You don't want to break it off here because you'll be wasting all of this. So you want to break it at the lowest point that it'll actually snap off. So I'm just going to go ahead and snap some of these off like that. And hi, Mom. Hey, Parag. Hey, Jeanette, you need to grab a drink. All right, so here we've got our asparagus washed and prepped. We're just gonna lay it all, there we go, all of our asparagus. All right, and we'll be taking some olive oil. This is an olive oil that I've repurposed the wine bottle. Bread and butter is one of my favorite wines. So I just repurposed it with a top that I bought from Amazon, actually. So all we'll do is we're gonna drizzle some olive oil on top here. All right, and then you can leave this off or not, but I love my asparagus spicy. So does Jay, so do the kids. So I'm actually gonna sprinkle some crushed red peppers and gonna go ahead and use my fancy little sea salt grinder here and grind some sea salt onto it, some black pepper. I'm gonna set this aside for a second, and what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and chop up some garlic, which I love garlic. If you don't like garlic, you obviously don't have to use it, but what we're gonna do is we're just gonna smash the garlic. Smashing the garlic actually releases some oils that enhance the flavor. It also enhances all of the nutrition that you get from garlic, and it also makes it a lot easier to peel, you can see. So we're gonna go ahead and just peel all of our garlic. There we go. And yes, Wendy, so you do snap off the end of the asparagus. That way you know exactly where the tough part ends, and so you're not really wasting any. And he says you shouldn't just snap the asparagus wherever. You should actually snap it where the tough part ends so that you're not wasting right now. Hey, Rachna, it's nice for you to join. All right, so I'm just gonna coarsely chop some of our garlic, and we'll get that back on here. And we're just gonna go ahead and kind of mix it all up. Mix it all up here. And in the meantime, Jay is gonna go ahead and turn that my toaster oven on for me. I actually just cook it in the toaster oven. I set it for.
I know how to turn the toaster oven.
There you go. He's turning the toaster oven on. All right. So. Yeah, Poonam, you're right. The smell of garlic when it's smashed is amazing. We're just gonna go ahead and convect bake it at 400 for maybe about 10 minutes. So that was the first thing that I wanted to get in. Hi, Rupal. It's nice to see you. The other thing that I know I disappeared for a second. Just a little tip and trick for you guys. I always like to keep a little garbage bowl next to me, which of course, when I started this Facebook Live feed, I was too excited and I didn't set it. So basically, anytime I have some scraps or whatnot, I just like to throw it in my garbage bowl because it's just so much easier than trying to like clean up all the counters and stuff. So, hi, Barky Bubby. So I'm gonna keep this off to the side. So while our asparagus is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and start our hummus. So for hummus, I actually just boiled some garbanzo beans in my Instant Pot probably about 4 days ago. I used some of it to make chana masala. I used some of it yesterday to make some taco beans. My husband likes his taco beans Indian style. So I actually smash them up and add some taco seasoning and some Indian spices and make it Indian style. But I always save some garbanzo beans for hummus. Hummus is just a great snack. I love it when the kids after school come and eat it with carrots or even pita chips or whatnot. So I do have some garbanzo beans, so we're gonna make some hummus with this. So our hummus recipe is garbanzo beans. We're gonna add some lemon juice and some tahini paste, salt, of course, and like I said before, so the cool thing about hummus is that you can have a base hummus, you can have a plain hummus, but you can add things to it. So one of the coolest or like most different types of hummus that I've had is when we had gone over for a drink just to catch up with our neighbors a while ago, and she served us pesto hummus. And I thought that was a really cool idea. We've had black bean hummus. One of my favorite hummus, and I luckily have this on hand, is cilantro jalapeno hummus. It's so nice and tangy and spicy, and the taste of the cilantro. I just love smelling cilantro also. So hi, Amanda. And then the last thing we add to that, obviously we season it with some salt, but then we'll also add a little bit of cumin and whip it all up. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and change my screen down here so you see what's going into my food processor. Let me know, you guys, if you have any questions or if you guys have any ideas. Also, I'd love to hear from you guys as far as like, what kind of hummus do you like to make? What do you like to serve? What are some things that you've used up lately over the last week or so that that you're like, that was kind of creative, where you're like, well, I would have had to run to the grocery store, but instead I made this out of whatever I had left over. Hi, Jennifer. So, oh, awesome, Wendy, you're making some with me. That's awesome. So basically, for the exact recipe, again, if you go to warriorinthekitchen.com and subscribe to my newsletter, if you haven't done so already, I will be sending you these. I'll be uploading them probably today or tomorrow, and then I'll send them over to you. But this is sort of a rough recipe. Is throw the chickpeas in there, and oh, I missed. Sorry, we don't want to waste, right? So let's make sure we use all of them up, and I'll estimate. I like my hummus with a strong taste of tahini. If you don't like tahini as much, or if you think it's too strong, just use a little bit less, but the tahini will help it get creamy also. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use 2 heaping tablespoons of tahini, all right? And we will go ahead and smash some garlic. In this particular recipe with the jalapeno cilantro, it's really nice when it's spicy. It's nice when it's garlicky, and it's also nice when it's lemony. So I'm gonna use a little bit extra. So where I would probably use a small clove in regular hummus, today I'm gonna just use 3 cloves of garlic. Oh, this garlic smells so good. And But like I said, you can adjust it to your own taste. So there's the garlic. We are going to go ahead and put a little bit of ground cumin in there, about a quarter teaspoon or so of it. We're going to season it with salt to taste. The way I like to describe how I season with salt, it's how I teach the kids how to use salt also, is, you know, not, as long as you sort of lightly cover all of your ingredients. So for example, the chickpeas, I just kind of want to make sure I've covered. That means the salt particles cover all of the chickpeas, which is going to give it the flavor. So that's what I've done there. And I'll go ahead and chop up 3 jalapenos and move this over so that you can see the jalapenos being chopped. There. There we go. And do I have a recipe for tahini-free hummus? I don't have a specific recipe for tahini-free hummus, but I suppose you're asking if someone is allergic to nuts. I'm not sure if, I would say maybe try, instead of tahini, maybe you just use nutritional yeast, because that would probably get a little creamy. I was going to say cashews, but cashews, if you're allergic to nuts or tahini, then that may not work. So, but I will definitely look one up. So I'm going to throw all of these jalapenos into the food processor. Jalapenos. So some good things to add to your hummus if you do not have cilantro or jalapeno, it would be maybe some chipotle sauce, maybe roasted bell peppers, maybe some black beans. Hey Rupo, maybe some pesto. So be creative, whatever you have. You could take bell peppers and roast them. You can take a ton of garlic and roast it and then throw it into your jalapeno or into your hummus. Hi Seema, hi Sejo Bobby, sorry about that. So I am gonna go ahead and throw in my cilantro. It's already been washed. So we'll go ahead and throw that in there. And so we're gonna also squeeze in some lemon juice. So here's a little trick that that I learned. If you roll the lemon, it's gonna just go ahead and kind of release some of the oil, the juice, and loosen it up so that we get more juice out of it when we actually squeeze it into our whatever dish you're preparing. So we're gonna squeeze about half. Actually, let's just squeeze the whole thing in because I do want it to be a little bit lemony. So we're going to squeeze in, it's almost about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And hi guys, thanks for joining back. Yes, sorry, I got kicked off for some reason. All right, so in our hummus, again, we've got chickpeas, we've got garlic, we've got salt, we've got some cumin, some cilantro, some jalapenos, some lemon juice. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and run the food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor, what I would do personally is I would just take a potato masher or a fork and I would just mash everything up. As far as the jalapenos and the cilantro go, I would actually chop them up very finely. So you're actually gonna make it into a chunky dip. But if you have a food processor, I would use the food processor because that will become a creamy dip. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the food processor. So I would food process it for maybe about 10-15 seconds. And then what I would do is I would take a scraper and scrape it. So here's my handy dandy scraper. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape it. And then we're gonna actually run it for about a minute. I have a friend who makes traditional hummus, and she said the trick to smooth hummus, smooth and creamy hummus, is to whip it in your food processor for as long as possible. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and move my food processor over and let it run for about a minute so that you guys don't have to listen to my food processor run. And In the meantime, our asparagus is done. So check out that asparagus. It's roasted, it's got the garlic on it, the crushed pepper, it's seasoned with salt and black pepper. You could possibly, if you wanted to, throw some lemon juice on it as well. But you can see that my husband is already having some.
Oh,
Or
I ate
you
one
already
already.
had one.
I ate one.
Yeah.
It's really yummy, everyone.
All right, so we're gonna run that. All right, so let's do a collective cheers. And
Cheers, everyone.
cheers.
Come back again.
All right, so let's see how our hummus has turned out. There we go. So I'm just gonna want to show it to you in, do you see how creamy that hummus turned out? So let me go ahead and plate that for you so that you can see. All right. Cheers, Seema. All right, so let's plate this. Oh yeah, it looks so nice and creamy. Smells delicious. So, and what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and drizzle it with some olive oil. And we are going to sprinkle it. So now we can sprinkle it, excuse me, we can sprinkle it with paprika if you don't want it even more spicy, or if you like it extra spicy, you can sprinkle it with some hot chili powder. So I think we're gonna go with the spicy route. And so you go ahead and just kind of sprinkle that on. And then I also have a half of a bell pepper that I found in the fridge. So I thought, well, why not? Let's just go ahead and use that up. So if you cut it into strips, well, then that just makes for a super healthy snack.
Oh, I'll try. Let me try one. Let me
Oh
try
my God,
some.
that's so good. That's delicious. Woo! It is spicy.
Yummy.
The other thing I found at Trader Joe's last time I went to stock up for like 2 weeks were these sweet potato crackers. These sweet potato crackers and hummus are actually so good. So this is something that you might want to try. It might be something that the kids will enjoy, maybe more than the bell pepper, but either way, that's your hummus. So the next thing that I wanted to make, and again, please ask me questions. Oh, the beet ones, I got the beet ones also, Seema. Those are delicious. In fact, I have some beet ones right here to show you. So these are beet crackers, and the other ones were hummus crackers. Delicious. So we've got our asparagus, we've got our hummus. Now the last thing that I wanted to make is this baked apple crisp. And the baked apple crisp is actually sort of a combination of two recipes that I really love. One is from a website called Pinch of Yum, which many of you have probably heard of. And then the other one is from this book, which I love. Some friends of mine at the gym recommended it to me. It's called Run Fast, Eat Slow. So what I basically did was I took the two recipes and I sort of picked and chose what I wanted, maybe added a little bit. And so I kind of came up with this baked apple crisp. So basically the baked apple crisp has two parts to it. You're going to create an oats mixture out of quick oats, and then you're going to create an apple mixture. And then what you're going to do is just going to layer them in little ramekins and literally cook them in your microwave for 3.5 minutes. If you don't like using the microwave, you can put it in your toaster oven. I would say 375 for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So that's another way to cook it, but still super easy. So for the oats mixture, and again, I'll send you guys the recipe. Don't forget to go to Warrior in the Kitchen, subscribe for the newsletter if you don't already get it. And I'll make sure that all the exact measurements, so you don't have to worry about writing things down right now. So let me just take a quick sip of my wine, and then let me go grab the ingredients we need for the oats mixture. All right, oats mixture. So basically what we want to do, let me go ahead and change that for you there so you can see it. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of quick oats. There we go. 1/4 cup of quick oats. So this recipe will make about 2 ramekins full. It's just meant to be kind of a quick, almost like an individualized recipe, but obviously with big families, you probably want to increase the quantities. So quick oats, coconut oil, we're going to want about 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. So 1, 2, and 3. Just leave that right there. And these are all things that I've had. I didn't go to the grocery store to buy any of this stuff. So then we're going to go ahead and put in here 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour. Now, tapioca flour is not something that most people have on hand. Hi, Dad. So I would say you could also use all-purpose flour. They have gluten-free all-purpose flour. So definitely kind of get creative with that. So we have the tapioca flour. Also have some almond flour. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup of the almond flour. There's that. We're going to add some walnuts, roughly chopped, about 2 tablespoons worth. So let's get that chopped here. That's about 1 tablespoon. That's about 2 tablespoons. So just going to kind of roughly chop them up. You can put any nuts in here you want. You can put pistachios, pecans. Actually, I think the original recipe probably called for pecans. I'm just not a big pecan fan. But there are the walnuts. We're going to go ahead and put some salt, about 1/8 teaspoon. But to me, that's just like a sprinkle. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit. We're going to put in a little bit of cinnamon. And again, 1/8 or a 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm just going to kind of estimate that. You can add more cinnamon to this if you like. If you want it cinnamony with apples, that would probably be pretty good. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I have, as you can see, about 1 tablespoon left. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump that in there. But then I'm also going to use some agave syrup, because that's the other thing that I have on hand. So we're going to throw in about 1 tablespoon of agave syrup. Hi, Ashish, nice to see you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of mix all this stuff up. And on the other side, and this is where I'm going to call Jay back in here to help me out, is we're basically going to, for the apples, while I mix this up, I'm going to have him chop up our apples. So we want about 2 cups of apples. So I'm going to say that's about 2 to 3 apples, depending on how big they are. We're not going to peel them. We're just going to de-seed them. So we're going to de-seed the apples. To that, we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice and cinnamon. So you're going to actually dice them.
Okay, well, I don't know how to do that.
All right, you got it. You got it. All right.
I'll do it how I know. Hi, everyone. How's everyone's day going? This was not
Not part of the plan?
Part of the plan.
All right. So we're going to do some, well, be careful you don't cut yourself there. All right.
This is not a good apple.
It's all right. It's a little ripe, so not a big deal.
What's up? Who's on this thing? How do you tell?
There.
Oh, hi. Ashish. What's up, Ashish?
All right. So I'm just going to prep this for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And then you go ahead and chop it.
Am I doing this like this?
Yeah. And then we're going to just chop it finely.
Okay.
Dice it.
Nobody needs to see it. There we go. All right.
So tell me some of the things.
Like this? Like this?
Yes, I don't know. Him with the knife is a kind of a
There we go.
scary
I think I got it.
Tell me some of the fun things you guys have been doing while we're chopping these apples. Why don't you tell me some of the fun things that you guys have been doing while you've been social distancing? Oh, hey, Alpa.
All right.
All right, here we go. Great job. You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
So, what's everyone up to? What are you guys making for dinner? Let me know. Might need to copy some ideas here.
All right.
All righty. So we're gonna put that in this bowl right here, that bowl right there. And to that, we're gonna add some lemon juice.
Look, putting it in the bowl,
Yep.
everyone.
Which I actually have some lemon juice left over from
Oh, look at that.
the hummus. And we're gonna add some cinnamon. Got our cinnamon here. Oh yeah. That's looking good. Smells good too. And we're gonna add a little bit of tapioca flour to that just to kind of bind it a little bit.
That's a lot of things. I'm busy working. Ashish is not working, I know that.
Oh yay, Wendy just made hummus. Awesome.
Nice.
So if you make any of these recipes, I'd love for you guys to
That's funny, Amanda. We'll come drop off the hummus.
I'd love for you guys to post some of these. If you make them, I'd love for you guys to post so that, and then tag Warrior in the Kitchen so I know that you made it. Okay, so we have our 2 bowls. Okay, we've got our oats mixture and we've got our apple mixture. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of the oats mixture on the bottom here of this ramekin. And then we're going to add some apples to the ramekin. And we're going to top it.
Is a ramekin a bowl?
Yes, a ramekin is a bowl.
Okay.
Good question. It's a small bowl that you can bake desserts in. So, all right. So, if you can put this in the microwave for 3 minutes. Yep, in the microwave. So when I found this recipe, I thought it was really cool. This is the part that I got out of Pinch of Yum. So my friend Alexis makes this berry crumble that's amazing. That recipe is from Run Fast, Eat Slow. It's made in an iron skillet, and you actually put it in the oven. And then I ran across this recipe from Pinch of Yum that used apples, and she actually makes it in a ramekin in the microwave. And I thought for small portions, I thought that was a really good idea. So I kind of combined the Pinch of Yum recipe with this Run Fast, Eat Slow recipe. And actually, I'm making this for the first time. So I have a good feeling about it. Uh-oh. Children, don't interrupt Amanda's time here. Hi, Nirali. So again, in order to really kind of reduce my trips to the grocery store, I created this grocery list that's hopefully going to help me because it really just includes everything that I would ever need, including my Indian groceries, including my Costco groceries, some odds and ends. I even have scrub pads and toilet paper on here. that will hopefully prevent me from buying like a gazillion toilet paper rolls. I have my produce, and this is really helpful because it really is like when you walk into the grocery store, you go to the produce aisle, and then you go to the bread aisle, and then the Mexican and Asian aisle, and however it's my grocery store is laid out is kind of how I made this. So I will send this over to you guys so that you can maybe just reconfigure it to whatever works for you. Any questions on any of the recipes that I've shared with you guys? We're still waiting for the baked apple crisp. That should be done in just about a minute. So, so again, we made asparagus with some asparagus that I had on hand. Basically just snapping the ends off, washing the asparagus. We drizzled it with olive oil, some chopped garlic, salt, pepper, and crushed red pepper. And then we just put it in the toaster oven at 400 for just about 10 minutes, and that was done. We also made creamy cilantro jalapeno hummus, and literally using up some chickpeas that I had. We used up some cilantro and jalapenos that I had. Also some lemons that my father-in-law gave me a little while ago that I needed to use up. And we also used up some bell peppers, which my bell peppers are right here. I had a half a bell pepper in my refrigerator, so we used that up. And now, in order to use up some of the apples that I had, we just made a baked apple crisp. Ooh, let's see how that turns out.
Smells so good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, I wish you guys could smell this. Cinnamon. You know, maybe what I might add next time is some honey, but you can see I'm gonna let it cool down. I'm not gonna really try it. Oh yeah, the apples have cooked. Looks delicious. Yum. I'm gonna let it cool because I know I'm gonna burn my mouth otherwise, but that was a way for me to use up some of my apples that were going ripe. So that's what I have for you guys today. And if you guys can share this video and like, comment, that would be awesome. Hey Poonam, just finishing up. So my next Facebook Live will be this Friday. Be careful with that, it's gonna be hot. So my next Facebook Live is gonna be this Friday. I'll be cooking up some Italian. I'll come up with a menu, I'll send it off on social media, and then please feel free to join me, do a watch party. I think you can grab some of your friends, do a Facebook watch party, and you guys can kind of like have your own little mini party while you're watching me cook, and you guys can ask questions and whatnot. Don't forget to subscribe to Warrior in the Kitchen, like, follow, share, comment, and then finally, I just wanted to leave you with a quick word. With all of the weight of anything that's been on your shoulders these days, and for everyone, it's something different. I just want you guys all to take in a deep breath and let it out slowly. And just remember that even though we're all supposed to be socially distancing, we can still connect with each other, even if it's just virtually. So I hope you guys can join me on Friday evening where we'll have some fun and goofiness in the kitchen.
Cheers,
and
everyone.
in the meantime, cheers and happy cooking. Bye, all.